Hello and welcome to History Options, and for those choosing history as a first GCSE. This is a 2-year course where you'll be studying history for a variety of different periods, all the way from Anglo-Saxons to present. You'll be looking at 5 different topics over 2 years. You'll be looking at living under the Nazis, you'll be looking at people's health, Elizabethans, Glastonbury, which is our local study, and the making of America. So you get a really nice balance between British history and also that of international history as well. So let's look at those different topics. So if we look at the people's health, this is a course that looks at different time periods from 1250 to present. You'll understand how we went from poor public health to making it how we know it today. We need to understand how it changed over a long period of time, but also how they made progress. So you get to look at things like the sewers, how the creation of the sewers, how they made public health acts to try and clean up the streets, all the way up to all those things we're looking at today, such as air pollution, how that challenges our health. We then look at Elizabethans. We look at a range of topics from her power to how she dealt with threats such as the Catholic plots against her to the Spanish Armada. We then look at source work with this to try and understand how she tries to get across her views, but also different historians' interpretations of Elizabeth. So we then end up looking at different views and different opinions around her. We then look at living under the Nazis. So this is a course where we start looking at how did Hitler achieve power, total power where he is dictatorship, how he then controlled his citizens through propaganda and opposition to his people himself. So how did he control the Germans to become more like Nazis, but also then punishing those who did not agree with through the Holocaust, and we look at how he then persecutes the Jews. We also have an opportunity to look at history around us, and we look at a local site of Glastonbury. This will require us going on a trip down to Glastonbury so we can understand what this tells us about history. And finally, our last topic will be the making of America, where we learn how it went from a British-owned colony with the War of Independence to a country what we know as the United States. We look at both the Native Americans' experience, Black American experience, and those of the white settlers. And we then end up looking at the different relationships between the different groups and how they live together, maybe in harmony, but possibly maybe in destruction as well. The other thing I like to end on, there's usually opportunities to go to Berlin Krakow as part of extracurriculum, which does help our course of living under the Nazis. Please do keep an eye out for those opportunities. And if there's any questions about any of those topics, do let us know. Many thanks. So just a note on the exam expectations and what does that look like in history. So as you know, there's 5 different topics and each topic has equal weightings of 20%. They are all examined, so it is a 100% examined course. Of course, there'll be plenty of opportunities for revision through revision booklets, knowledge organisers, and of course the revision guides which you can purchase at school. So lots of revision, but it's going to be a great topic to look at. So what can history do to help you with your future career? History is really important as it allows you to discuss and describe different opinions. It also helps you to learn about other people's views. So when we think about lawyers, and they are how to create different arguments and explain their rationale for different thoughts. As well as that, of course, history helps you to have an interpretation. So if you're a journalist, you need to represent different views. As well as journalism, the interpretation of history through archaeology and understanding the past. It allows you to understand the society and the wider world that we live in, and therefore having that understanding of different beliefs can really help you in careers such as council work, councillors, town planning. That will really help you to understand what that society might need. There's lots of careers. Most politicians that are in our society have studied history at an A-level or degree level because it helps them with their arguments and discussion, and that empathy skills that can really help us with the wider community means that history is often a very desired subject and can really help you going forward into the future.